We're back! Yes, guys. Shameless, Season 8, Episode 1. We are what we... Frank! Let's talk about it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin!
Feels good to be back, everybody.
So good.
Did you enjoy the episode?
2 thumbs up.
Yeah. Phil, what's going on, man?
It's been a year, and now we're back with season 8. I'm very excited because a lot of good things are finally happening. But
Yeah.
generally, they happen at the beginning of the season, and then things go to shit. So you know what?
That's
We'll
very
see.
true. That's very true. Where can everybody find you on social media so they can follow along this season?
At Phil Svitek. I changed it this year.
Ah, I love it. Juliet!
Really cool. I have to say, like, you don't understand how excited I am to be back. I'm so pumped. Missed this cast so much. Missed you guys as well.
Missed you too.
But you can follow me on Instagram also. Yeah.
Where can they find you?
They can find me at Bonjour Juliet.
Oh, and you're saying it so much slower this season.
Yeah.
It's so great. It's so
Thank
good. And we also have a special guest with us. We have Jamie from the show, which is a new character that we saw today. Martin Martinez, welcome.
Yep.
Thanks for coming in.
Oh, no, thank you for having me. I'm super excited. I can totally agree with all of you that those last few episodes of Season 7 were completely intense.
Right.
So jumping into Season 8, everyone's probably like, what's going to happen? And it's definitely having a positive turn to it.
For sure. First of all, where can everyone find you so they can follow you on social media?
Yeah, social media, my Instagram is a little bit of a mouthful. It'd be I am Martin Martinez. And Twitter is Leo Squad. Squad is spelt not correctly, and that's on purpose. It's SQAUD.
Perfect.
There you go. So you were a fan before this season, before you got cast on it?
Okay, it's kind of funny. I recently moved to LA, and I was like, you know what, I really need to start watching a lot of TV. But Shameless wasn't one that popped up. I was on the CW, like I'm a huge CW fan, and I watched a few episodes before my audition, and I was like, whoa, this is good. Like I just found myself watching it. I was like, wait, no, I'm supposed to be studying like the feel of the show, the tone, the grit, and I was stuck like with the writing and everything. So it was awesome. I am a fan now.
There you go.
That's good. It tends to do that. I
It
remember
just
when the
grabs you.
first season came out, and it just like all of a sudden I was like 6 episodes in because I had started a little bit later. I was like, oh my God, it's been 6 hours. It's just so good.
It is.
They
You can keep
grab
watching.
Yeah, you have to keep watching because you just fall in love with these characters, with this family, and they make you laugh, they make you cry, they make you do it all.
For sure. Well, they've had a lot of changes, like you said. The show opens on Fiona, and naturally she's shirtless. It's like I was like, oh, that's totally her. Like, here we go again. And surprisingly enough, she actually was like, epiphany moment. I'm done having one night stands. Good for her. Or is this going to change quickly? Like, what do we think?
She loves love, and her definition of love always changes. So it's either one night stands, real connections. Right now she's saying, like, I need a real connection.
Right.
When it comes to her, I feel like you never really know. But you know that she's not good at being alone. And we've never seen her really alone. And they teased that last season thinking, like, she'll have some moments when she's alone, but that doesn't happen. So that's what I want to see personally.
I feel like this comes, I don't know, I feel like Fiona has really transitioned. And she's becoming a lot more like positive, and before she was taking care of all the Gallaghers,
Right.
and now she's starting her own business and making investments, and I feel like this is kind of changing her character a little bit. Like she's planting her feet on the ground and standing for what she wants to.
For sure.
I think she just needs to get it out of her system. You know, as she said, sort of last season, we've seen throughout the years, she's never really had a chance to be herself. Now she's been there, tried that, and who knows? I'm even guessing she might even be a lesbian. Try it out.
I mean, I was going to ask Nessa. They obviously have a connection. It's one of the tenants of her new building that she purchased. And immediately you can tell, like, even when she was like, just so you know, like, I'm not gay. And she gave her the little, you're not my type anyway. Like,
Something's going to happen.
Definite chemistry between the two.
Right.
For sure.
So that'll be interesting to see. I still love that she has a car. Like, every time she got in her car, I was like, yeah, you go, girl. I kind of forgot she bought that car last season.
Yeah, she's doing big things.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if she was going to be, I kind of felt like the guy that she was seeing was going to scam her with this building. Like, it kind of felt like, oh, it's so easy to,
Right.
He's giving. And I'm like, okay, what's going to happen?
We definitely had that thought too last season, and hopefully that still doesn't continue. But from what we're seeing with scenes for next week, it looks
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
I mean, I think it's gonna be like a double-edged sword. It's gonna be a little challenging because she's having all these newcomers come in and they want to put in the money, which is really good for her.
Right.
But we still haven't really gotten to see who actually lives in that building and how hard it's going to get to.
Right. And we got some of the descriptions of those people,
Right.
which was hysterical. You had the lady with cancer and cats.
Who's been there since the Confederates won.
Yeah.
Or lost,
Since
rather.
what did she say? Seceded the Union or what? That was funny. And then
The
who
good
else?
weed guy.
The good weed guy
Remember
always
that
has
one.
good weed.
PTSD.
Yep.
T.
Yeah. And
the
then
kids.
the kids.
Crazy
Like
kids.
a ton of kids.
I can't wait till the intro for all those like inmates or tenants.
Right. They're kind of like weird Gallaghers in a way. It's the same mentality. So I
Well-
think that's going to be a challenge for her to evict people because she's from that kind of same situation.
That's so true.
Right. I think she will give him second chances until she's like, yep, nope,
Nope.
just done. Just done. So Karl, we see a lot of him this episode. He wakes up right in the morning with his bugle alarm at 5:30. Is that how he says it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And all of the other, the brothers are like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, we've got to wake up to this alarm. But he is adamant about staying strong throughout the summer so
Yeah.
that he doesn't go back to military school, soft.
Yep. He's really like, it's his new way of life and just cooking for the family. He's making biscuits. Did you guys
It's
see
so
that?
funny. It's so
Biscuits and
funny seeing him
pancakes, bacon.
with his apron and everything. Such a change. It's crazy.
Right?
I think it's only a good thing.
Yes, but at the same time,
I was just going to say.
like he's still in his old ways. It's such a really funny duality where you see this kid just waking up at the crack of dawn and
But, still has his, drug.
Hoodness to him,
Yeah.
selling. I got a guy on the corner
yeah.
for
Yeah,
the
like-
meth. Yeah.
He's moving this meth so easily, it's kind of scary.
yeah.
He knows what to do. He's been there, done that. It's not a new thing for him by any means.
It is though because he wasn't moving meth. He was moving. I thought it was weed. No, it was definitely not meth. I think when
Wasn't it guns?
Guns and yeah. I mean,
All
he's
of the
tried
above.
Something
various-
crazy. Something crazy.
He's just moving things that shouldn't be moved. But they're all using this money that he's going sibling to sibling. So we saw Lips has already been moved, Debbie's has already been moved, and then his obviously has already been moved because he bought a hot tub, which is like such a, I feel like, kid thing to buy when you have a lot of money. It's like, I'm going to spend it all on a hot tub.
Well, it has 12 jets.
Thank you. You're totally right.
Thought
And
I'd
a
advocate.
waterfall.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, a few seasons back when he was dealing, right, and he was getting all that money, he was buying new TVs and just so it's funny to see that in a way he's still doing that great purchase, but it's not as extreme as last time.
Right.
I feel like it was extreme, but it's like, what do I really want and what do I really need? And there's just one item so far.
Well, and you kind of all can tell where they are in life based on their purchases.
Yeah.
We saw Debbie bought all of her welding equipment, which is awesome. She's, investing in her future,
Right.
which is good to see.
I think you make a good point. Like, I think they're all in a way investing in their future, and even the hot tub, he has that discipline, so it's him to just relaxing and
Well, I think too. I mean, as far as Karl's concerned, money really doesn't have value for him. He's always been able to get a ton of money, and I think when Frank says the line like your mom would be proud, like I think Karl actually does take that to heart.
Right. And it's funny too because even when they do have a lot of money, they're still never trying to get out of that house. It doesn't seem like, they're making other purchases, or like Fiona is purchasing her building and worrying about her businesses, but they're all still like living together, doing the family thing.
But that'd be weird if they weren't in that house. Like that's
I know.
It's been there since day one.
creates a conflict for the writers, I think.
Right. It does, for sure.
It does, and I think also, but it makes sense. They, no matter what, they always stick together, and that's their home. And yeah, I think there's something to be said about that.
But on that future thing, I couldn't really think where Debbie would be going. I couldn't see, I wasn't able to visualize her in the future. I don't know what's kind of
With
going
her
on.
welding, you mean?
Welding and her fiance, or is it husband now?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fiance.
I'm pretty sure. I don't think they got married yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. She actually doesn't live at the house. She's the only one.
That's right. Yeah.
But she makes
Yeah,
appearances like everyone.
Right, for sure. Frank. Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. You have to, because even the people that she's welding with, they're all talking about other careers, it seemed like, after their welding classes. So who knows whether that'll actually become a full-time job.
Well, it's like, what is she gonna do? She has a kid, and then, like as she was seeing before, the Latino, and then she still has his family, and then the fiance. So I was just kind of wondering, like in the future, like what would I see? Because I was kind of going through characters, and I was like, okay, I could see this happening in season 8. But Debbie, I was like, what kind of problems would I see her like that are kind of oblivious and that would kind of creep up on us,
Right. Well, maybe it has something to do with her teacher, the welding teacher that she so clearly has a crush on.
Yeah, he seems like a really good motivation.
I was gonna say I'd have a crush on him too. That guy was hot.
It made me think of like maybe I should do that. Wildering.
Yeah.
Wildering.
Yeah.
I don't like season wise. I think Debbie's had her arcs and things of that nature and her struggles. So I think this might actually be a mellow season for her overall.
Yeah. Well, and I really did enjoy seeing her. Even though she's throwing the baby onto her fiance, who's so clearly overwhelmed, just sitting in his wheelchair, like, okay. I loved seeing her going from job to job and really taking control of that part of her life, making money, making sure that, he has food, and she just seemed much more responsible out of the gate this episode.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Just kind of like Karl in a way, and Fiona, they all have more discipline.
Yeah. Well, Frank.
Oh,
Does Frank have more discipline? Maybe.
Well, that's what we have to talk about, because even though he decided that he should smoke his entire pound of meth at a
half of it, only half of it, Hayley.
That's what he says, and he gave the rest to charity.
The ones the needy.
The needy, yeah. He smoked it all in a Buddhist, like, what would you call that?
A temple, a Buddhist temple.
Like a meditation.
Yeah, they're like it was a bunch of monks. It looked like just taking a vow of silence almost, and he's in there with his own shrine
with Monica.
Of Monica.
Yeah.
Smoking a whole half pound.
Yeah,
Like,
it's nuts. But he comes out and he's like, I'm free. Now I'm done. I'm over it. That's what I needed to do. And he's making amends with everyone that he's hurt.
I like that. I'm excited because we've seen Frank go to such a dark side, and we got a whole history, and it's kind of weird because now it's like cyclical. We talked about how essentially like Lip could become Frank if he doesn't change his ways, but now I like that he's going positive. I just don't necessarily love the method, because all of a sudden you can't just go up to the people that you've wronged for X number of years, and just because you're ready to be a father doesn't mean they're ready for you to be a father.
Right.
And his half-assed apologies, like he was like, Karl, like, I'm sorry for everything I've done. He can't name one thing.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. I don't remember it. I'm sorry. And then he hugs him and he goes, okay, thank you, and then walks away.
Yeah. And
Karl did not say a word, and he's like, thank you. Thank you for what? What are you talking about? That's not a real apology.
Yeah,
it's a
same
Frank
with
apology.
Fiona, too. My beautiful daughter, anything I have ever done to hurt you, I'm
Anything.
sorry. Yeah.
But I feel like Frank has always been kind of, I don't know what the adjective would be, but bright in a way. Like he knows, you know what I mean? Like they'll give him lines at the end of scenes, or he's like, oh, you bought this place, the laundromat. It was a good investment, and it turned out to be a great investment for Fiona. Like he kind of, but I feel like he just got kind of taken away. He got sidetracked from being with Monica, and just kind of after her passing, I think that's what happened. I think it's really interesting if we can see Frank kind of come up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think we say it almost every season, because he does something where you're like, I could get behind that, Frank.
There's like a glimpse of
There is. There's always
of
like
love, a glimpse
yes.
of responsibility, and then poof.
Or even when he takes a shower and like slicks his hair back and puts a suit on, you're like, you could go get a job.
With
Like
all his
you could...
scratches, though.
Oh,
'cause
well, yes, and like the scars he has, and it looks like he's been branded on parts of his body.
To be fair, for a moment, I thought the dog sniffing the guy's ass, that was Frank.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
That
dear
was a
Lord.
really funny.
There's the
like,
intro.
Little, yeah. So yeah, I totally agree. There's little glimpses, but then he does his regular Frank antics, which we'll see, because you can tell in some of the scenes coming up that he gets back into the old meth selling business, or is trying to. So who knows? Like, there's something that goes wrong with that.
But his like little frantics always end up turning like selfish. You know what I mean? Like they kind of
Yeah.
have his own motive to it after.
Always. For sure.
Like it'll be something, oh, okay, cool. And then, oh, okay, that's why you did it.
Well, and even him apologizing to all these people is not to actually apologize to those people. It's to make himself feel better about doing all of those bad things.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he says, oh, great, 2-for-1 special at the cemetery.
Jackson.
Not a good start,
Yeah.
certainly.
So, I mean, we'll see. He's still my favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, I just love his character so much.
His character is pretty awesome.
Right? It's so great.
Doesn't stop.
And did you get to work with him at all?
I didn't,
No.
unfortunately.
Okay. Well, hopefully in the future.
I know, right? That's
yeah,
what I'm hoping.
That would be amazing. Who did you get to work with? Well, obviously, we saw you with Cameron.
Yeah. I worked with Ian's storyline and Trevor. So both of them. And then I had the pleasure of working with Emmy, Fiona, because she directed the episode that I was in. Not this one, but the one in the future, the 8th episode. But
Good, so we'll see you again.
yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. I'm super excited. And one thing that I realized working, because after I did this episode and then I did another project and then I came back for the 8th episode and I was like, whoa, like the caliber of acting and the talent on this show is just, it's kind of hard to take in. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot. Like it's definitely a different kind of caliber. It's really talented, and they're super professional with it, and they make a lot of choices, and there's like a lot of thinking before going into their scenes.
That's amazing. And an awesome learning experience.
Yeah, definitely. It was like a whoa, like a wake up. Like I should really need to have this formulated and things like that. So
Right.
it was really cool.
That's
But
really
and it's
cool.
great that they're like really nice and positive, and the set itself is just so like chill. It's kind of like how the show is a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like really relaxed.
That's cool. Were you in Chicago or LA shooting?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
Yeah,
I know
they-
they do half and half.
Yeah. So they do like their interiors here.
Okay.
And then the exteriors out there in Chicago. I missed the Chicago run.
That's all right. That's okay. Were they shooting in the summer? Or both?
But a little bit of both, I
It'll be
think.
cold in Chicago. Who knows how they deal with that? Liam. I want to talk about Liam because this one hit me hard. Poor little Liam. It's like so great to see him in a good school. Like I'd like to think it's a good education, but the poor kid's not even getting an education because they keep pulling him out of class to use him as the one black kid at the school on their like school tours to say that it's a diverse school.
There had to be a way that they were going to use him to their advantage. Like in the beginning, like seeing him enrolled as the only kid there, you know what I mean, that was African American. It was like there's going to be something going down with this school.
Right.
I just like the fact that he does actually genuinely want to learn. No matter what it is, he's like there trying to participate as best he can, and just every time he's rolling his eyes like, really?
He's just soaking everything in.
Yeah.
Well, his
Little sponge.
painting, even though it was the only like black and white painting in the entire class, like everyone used colors, and then his was his house and it was black. It was good. It was a good painting. And then they're like, "We need to borrow Liam," and he just he gives you that face. It's like, again. I feel so bad for
I
him.
feel so bad for
Do
him.
you think he's gonna eventually say like no?
It's first of all, Liam's talking, you guys.
Yeah.
I am
Good
so
point.
excited about that. Like I know last season he was saying like a word here and there, and I always get super excited when that happens.
Yeah.
But like he's like a full blown like human now,
Little human.
little human. But with that being said, he's not very talkative. So he told Fiona like, "Yeah, I'm not in class much," and she's like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, I don't know."
I play a lot, I think is what he said. It's
Yeah.
because they say, go play.
Go
Go
play.
play up
Go
front.
play.
I think that's what they say.
I wonder what he's going to get like caught up in. Like that last episode, they had him open the gate to get the meth, to get Monica's meth. You know what I mean? Like what
Right.
could he be of use for
Yeah.
in this season?
Yeah. And I'm also excited to see, like, I mean, this storyline has to blow over at some point. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that confrontation and see this, like, upscale school just, like, get the talking they deserve, because that's not okay. Liam's my favorite.
Right.
And if I could hop into the TV and mess someone up, I would.
Well, I'm just glad to see that Shameless is still being super not politically correct.
Yeah.
It's like one of the last shows on TV that does it, I feel like.
Yeah.
One thing,
fun.
I mean, it's a great social commentary because you could so see
Cool.
upscale snobbish people just totally like, yeah, no, we're totally diverse.
Yes, agreed.
I mean, that happens in real life. Like, that's.
Which is so sad because as much as this is a joke and it's, on TV and it's funny for this conversation, like that would be awful if that happened in
I know
If they
real
get
life.
in,
Well,
right
yeah,
after
I guess
having
that would
Frank
be
getting him in.
Right.
not to divert it, but I know plenty of industries that like they're just like the diversity factor must be taken into account.
Yeah.
Like, oh, anyway. I won't get specifics. No, but it's true. It's true. It's very sad.
They have to now. It's fun because I have a lot of friends
totally
that do.
Fine, but like.
But like here's the thing, just do it because it's just the right thing to do.
It should be like that. Like why? It shouldn't even be a thought.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yes. Agreed.
But they'll throw you in for diversity.
Right.
Like you hear that all the time, especially in the entertainment business. Like, oh, we'll need like one person for diversity.
Yeah, and with acting all the time when you audition, I'm sure you see it. You see like ethnically ambiguous, so you have to look like a bunch of different like races to get certain parts, and it's totally because of that. But yeah, we'll see what happens with Liam. Poor little guy.
There you go.
Oh my God. Okay, so V. I love this bitch. Excuse my language. That's just like the only way that you could describe it. I love her so much. Svetlana has turned The Alibi into Putin's paradise. Which is just like ridiculous in itself. And now it's a bunch of Russians at the bar.
Yeah. I don't know why. I just wasn't expecting that from her. I was definitely expecting her to put her own little touch. But it just seemed, considering the neighborhood, it seemed very like scaled to the Russians. And like, I don't know, business-wise, it just didn't seem like the smartest move for her.
But it was packed.
It was it really though?
Compared to The Alibi, it was only the same. It's the same three guys, which I still don't know their names.
Yeah.
Do you remember their names? The guys at the bar? They're amazing, but I totally forget their names. They were always at The Alibi, but then there were like maybe a couple randoms in there. But no, I mean, it was pretty busy compared to what usually happens, I think. Anyway, and at least they mentioned that it was, I think Kevin mentioned that it was, popping over there at Putin's paradise. So
I totally agree with that, though. I wasn't seeing like her going completely with the Russians. Like you were to think because she seems like she's a really formulated character and she's super business, and you'd think that like maybe she'd make it super high end, or she'd have this twist to it to where she could make a lot more money behind it, or she was scamming, you know what I mean? Like there was something in the back where they do a little bit, businesses kind of mesh together. So
well, I think it's all because she just wants to be a throuple again. She even said it. I think she maybe did that so that they got so mad they wanted their alibi back. The name's not even there anymore. They're like, okay, fine, we'll be the threesome again, whatever, just make it back to normal. And they're like, screw you, like you've totally, stabbed us in the back, like this isn't happening.
Right. I still don't understand what her MO, like what she gets out of that, because she said like, I don't believe in love, but she wants a companionship, but then she wanted the bar. She has the bar, and it's funny to me that she still wants that relationship with them too. Right. So I don't really understand what she gets out of that.
I think she gets the fact that she didn't ultimately screw them over. Like, yeah, she took their bar away from them, but it's for the sake of, like, she wants to take care of them.
I think it's more than that. I feel like you don't put that much effort into that type of relationship, because they were on, like, that strict schedule. It was like, you do this then, we're together then, like, I'm taking care of the kids. I mean, it was a lot. She obviously wants something like that back.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. That ongoing schedule, I guess, or yeah.
I don't know, but she's not getting crap now because she's in the back of a van.
For now,
yeah. That won't last. After they had a total full-on fight at the bar, which was awesome.
Finally.
Right?
I was kind of waiting for that to happen.
Yeah.
Her to, like,
but we
step
didn't
up
get
a little
to see
bit.
it.
You saw one big punch and she took her earrings off. I mean, you knew what was happening.
Hey, something's about to go down right now.
Yeah.
Just
Earrings
like
are off.
locals, I wouldn't have stepped in until we saw their stuff.
Oh, that was hysterical. Yeah. Should we step in? No, not until some clothes come off.
But remember that fight V was in with a few first seasons, with this Kev's ex-girlfriend that was coming back, and she was like kind of trying to win him back and all that. I remember that fight, and she punched the girl and like her tit was out, and she was just like kept on going with her titties out.
That's amazing. Yeah, well, she wasn't gonna let V step all over her. Like, their lawyers might not work because they signed the paperwork. There's really not much they can do. She's like, fine, I'm gonna find another way. And when the immigration, what are they called? What's their?
They just said ICE. It said police ICE.
It's crazy.
I think no, that was code for Fiona though.
But does it mean like immigration
No, on the
something?
thing. Yeah. That's why she called them ICE.
Oh, I thought
because...
it was a code. Yeah, okay, so immigration.
We'll have to look it up. And if you guys know, let us know. But yeah, so Fiona's yelling it. She knows that the van's around. She's like, oh yeah, I'm totally sending it to Putin's paradise. And the only way that she got them there, though, is because she told them that they were part of a prostitution ring. And a sex trafficking ring, and so they were like, "Oh, we've got some prostituting Russians. We gotta go, like, get the van." Yeah, so they got her.
That was an interesting social commentary as well. And he's like, I'm not gonna waste my time with the Russians. And
Right.
she's like,
Why?
I thought that was very interesting. And to be completely honest, I don't know the full answer. Maybe that's
Well, and he goes, "You really need to ask."
yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, yes." Yeah, I don't know.
Phil.
I don't know enough about
I
that
don't know, like,
area.
I'm stumped here.
Yeah.
I'm just like staying quiet. Like,
Yeah,
what are you guys
Martin.
saying?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, there's just too much. We have a show called Trump Report. Listen to that show if you want the full political reasons behind everything.
Okay, fair enough. On AFTERBUZZ TV.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So who knows? But we'll see what happens to her. Is her dad still here at all?
No.
He's
I doubt
gone,
it.
right?
I was surprised that it was surprised that she like went in the bar and she was like, "That's her." Like V showed her face. She wanted her to know, like, I did this to you.
Right, because Svetlana is I feel like she knows some people that could hurt some people.
Yeah.
Well, she would have. Here's the thing. I mean, and at that point, when they come, you kind of know who
Well,
told. You just do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she could have guessed that anyway.
Yeah. So might as well like, and at that point, she thinks she's like Svetlana's getting deported to Chernobyl.
Well, and I think she wanted Svetlana to realize, like, you might legally have the upper hand
But don't
with the
mess
bar,
with me.
but do not mess with me.
She got some things up her sleeve,
Oh,
yeah,
for sure.
and she totally looks like it too. You know what I mean? You don't want to mess with her at all. She's like
Yeah.
this bit butch character.
Yeah. Well, yes. Kevin has something up that's not his sleeve, in his shirt, in his boob.
Or pants.
In his boob. Yeah. We find so Kev's still working at the bar, and
Under strict rules.
under strict rules from V. That's correct. He's not allowed anyone to touch his junk.
Put their mouth on it.
Put their mouth on it.
You
All the
can't
normal
give
stuff.
blowjob. Yeah.
Yeah. He
But-
can get
but in-
fake ones though.
Yeah.
Because some guy comes up, which we later find out is a doctor, gives him $200, and Kev's like, "All right, let's go in the back." And he tells him, "You can, you can blow on it, but I will not get hard as for like as long as you try. It won't happen." And as he's like touching his bod and his boobs, he finds a lump, and he gives him the name of an oncologist to go see. And they find a mass, and now he needs to get it biopsied.
Yep.
What do we think? Where is this storyline going?
It's so saddening because these poor guys, they can't get out of this financial like funk that they're always in. Like, yet, they're losing the bar, and on top of it now they're gonna have all these medical bills.
Right, because there's no way they have health insurance.
No.
And I can't imagine what that doctor's visit costs.
I wonder if he's gonna tell V, because sometimes he either hides stuff for a long time and then it just comes out wrong, or sometimes he does tell V, and they're very supportive and obviously can get through it. So it'll be interesting which route he does take.
Right.
And it's also going to be interesting seeing him as a patient because he's very dramatic. And I mean, it's a very serious matter, but I wonder how he's going to take it. He's either going to brush it off or just be very Kev-like and in his own funny, twisted way.
Right.
We'll get to see that.
And they've totally already kind of hinted at that because they, of course, like his office gown or doctor's gown couldn't be closed completely. Like his ass had to be out, like directly on the table, and even the way that they were panning across all of the breast cancer pictures, like back to his face, back to the picture, like back to him.
And the woman who walked out, she was
crying. Right? They're like they're making it
very dramatic.
not comical, but like
Shameless.
You know what I mean?
They're making it shameless.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. They do. They take these very serious topics and somehow make you kind of laugh at them.
Making it shameless is the perfect description.
Yeah, right? I know. When we have no words, they've made it shameless. Yeah, so I don't know. I hope he doesn't have breast cancer. I mean, I don't know. I don't see where that would go from there, but that's also why I don't write this show. Because I don't know where I would take it.
It's certainly an interesting way to sort of interject a very, and perhaps educate audiences. I don't know.
Right, about doing regular checkups. Do
Yeah.
you give yourself a regular exam? Maybe we should check right now.
As soon as that scene was, I was like touching my boobs. I'm like, I had to.
Well,
like,
and at least with women, we're doing it, if you're not doing it regularly, which you should be, at least for the most part, you're going once a year to get your annual like checkup, and they're checking for you. But with guys, I feel like that's not something. Does your doctor do that? Like when you go and get a regular physical, is that something they check?
Nah, I don't think about that stuff.
Well, you don't have to think about it. Did they do it the last time you went to the doctor?
No.
I don't think they ever. At least, no, they don't ever.
Yeah, I
at
didn't
all.
think so.
Because it's
Like,
not,
not-
it's not as common in men, but
No,
it's
not at
still
all.
big, disease that's out there though. So I thought that was good that they put that out there. That you know,
Yeah.
you
So
need to check.
guys, after you watch the show,
touch your nips, touch your.
give
touch
yourself
them.
a breast examination.
Every month.
Or give a
Every
friend. Or give a friend.
Tonight's give a friend a breast examination day.
Oh, that could be taken so many.
Okay, so let's talk about Lip. He is still sober, which is great. And his friend from the bike shop gave him a fidget spinner to keep his mind off of things when he, feels like having a drink. He's like, play with this thing. It'll keep your mind off of it. But he's actually using running as his outlet. And it's like 7 miles, 5, like he's running a lot.
It's it's great that he's doing something healthy, but it's very addictive behavior. He's just running and yeah, I think he's an addict, so he goes from one addiction to the next. So it's good that this one's a healthy one, and
Right.
you just see him sweating it off. And what did you think about him at the end when he was knocking on the professor's door?
Yeah, so he gave back, his money from Monica. That it gave him $9,000 to say thanks for rehab. And I mean, I'm pretty sure last season, didn't he say he was going to pay him back, or he made that comment like he wanted to pay him back? I like that he paid him back because he's holding himself responsible, and it's almost thanking him because it's working. But at the same time, I'm like, man, I really wish you would have saved yourself some. I'm more upset that he went and paid her electricity bill with his money more than I am him giving money to the professor.
I mean, you can't discredit what she also did for him, and the fact that she even pushed him out of her life so far,
To help
pushed
him
him
get better.
to, you know what I mean? It's you can't necessarily put a price on
Right.
realizing that you need help.
Right.
And if she was a catalyst for that, then you know what? I don't see it as a bad thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was him, you see him run, and he's just like paying off his debts. And yeah, he owed her one. He definitely owed him one. And
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
him taking responsibility and being accountable for everything that's happened.
I feel like he's kind of being, I don't know, he's kind of being Lip. Like, I really like his storyline and his character, and I feel like the audience is like rooting for him, like, come on, you can do this, like
Yeah.
kind of want to see him succeed. But then again, if you were to jump back into old habits, that's where you can see him again, like get himself into some crap.
Right.
I was upset that he's running with his shirt on, though. I don't understand why they're doing that. That makes no sense to
Where
me.
he's running with his shirt on.
Yeah, it should be off.
Or that he's like running to work and he must smell terrible once he gets there.
Or
To
very
be fair, they
manly.
work at a motorbike shop. Like, how good can it smell to begin
That's
with?
true. How about Eddie? She's a new character for us. She works at the bike shop as well, and apparently she kicks the ass of bouncers at bars.
Yeah.
And she's just a total badass. But she also is mean and like
She
doesn't
hates
talk
Lip.
to anyone.
Yeah. At the end, she called him a front, I think. She was like,
Whatever it was pretty much like, you're new here. Whatever that word was. But yeah, I didn't write it down. I forget. But yeah.
She already owns the place.
Yeah.
Kind of giving that vibe.
Yeah. Because all of the guys are kind of sound a little scared of her. At least, his friend was like, don't.
right.
That's not smart.
But it's Lip, though, so he will.
Oh, for sure.
So I
and
don't know.
she'll eventually, I mean,
Yeah, are we
it's Lip.
seeing, for sure, I think we're going to see some kind of connection, so maybe a friendship, but are you thinking a relationship?
if it's a relationship, it's purely sexual. It's not going to be any type of emotional relationship. He's too
Invested in
held
girl.
up on, yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the weird part, because you got Sierra to think about, and now like, it's why? Why even put yourself in that situation?
Why?
Well, because now her ex is back.
Yeah, but he didn't, but still, like, if that's your ultimate goal, if you think this is the one,
Because it's
That-
Lip.
so, okay, so you just,
That's just what
while
he
it's
does.
convenient, go with Eddie, and then when she's ready, all right, I'll get back.
Yep.
Okay.
That's true. I was about to say, like, oh, I couldn't see Eddie and Lip, but wait, never mind.
I could say
Teacher
you live
and
with
all that.
anyone
Yeah.
that wants to have sex with Lip. I mean, he's had sex with a lot. He's had sex with a lot of people on this show, and they've all looked different.
Yeah.
And they're all different ages.
He's all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, he can get it when he wants it. Let's be honest. But Sierra doesn't want it, so we'll see. At least she doesn't now. She smiles at him still when he makes comments. There's still some type of spark there. I just think she knows that it's not healthy, and it's not healthy for her or him, and so she's trying really hard not to.
Right. But she's
Start
not that
talking to him
healthy
again.
either, because she's jumping from like one messed up relationship to the next. She's
For
telling
sure.
him to go fix himself, then she's going back to her ex who says he's fixing himself, but I don't know.
But
It seemed very contradictory from what she's saying to him. But then
Right.
she's not really, owning up to it.
I feel like her playing hard to get is kind of gives Lip that incentive to keep trying, like paying her bill and things like that. Like, it's interesting. Like, okay, I can't get this time, or I really want to be affiliated with something with her, and she's not letting him, get to a certain point.
Right. I mean, the fact that she still lets him babysit her son, that's pretty big. You don't just, like, let anyone around your kids or take care of your kids. Like, there's obviously some type of trust still there, I feel like.
I mean, to be.
or do you think she just, like,
porn.
really need... Well, yeah, forgot about that.
He was the greatest babysitter
At
in
least
the
the
world.
kid was sleeping? No. Liam's watched a lot worse in that house. No, I know. That's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you. And here's the thing: I think she knows she can trust him in that sense. But I do agree there has to be a certain amount of trust to be able to do that. So the fact that she does say a lot.
It does. And going back to the porn,
Please.
like what really matters. I thought that was, there, I think for comedy, but also I feel like it was going back to what his friend was saying. He was like, you just want to be waiting on the couch, hoping that she's horny when she comes back from his date. And so maybe like that was him kind of like prepping
himself in case.
Yeah. It just really, I don't know, because I don't think we see him watch porn all the time.
No.
You know what I mean? So it was very specific porn watching. Like, it was,
He had a motive.
He had a motive. Yeah.
But I feel like he's not asking for much. I mean, right? No, okay, I'll stop now.
No, it's okay. It's shameless.
Exactly.
But let's talk about your character, Jamie. So Jamie is trying to give some advice to Ian. Or
Yeah.
not even to Ian. He's giving advice to Trevor
Almost,
about, like, so he had sex with his ex-boyfriend. Like, get over it, dude.
Yeah, basically, kind of nudging them all along a little bit, kind of rooting for them.
Right.
And I think it's kind of like for season 8, trying to like fight against Ian with Mickey, because everyone was like, oh my god, like Ian and Mickey. I feel like they were like a really good couple. But yeah, Jamie's like the street kid that rallies up the kids and the other boys on the street. He's gay and it kind of
He has a new boyfriend.
Yeah, all the time.
Which he needs like 20 condoms for.
Yeah, I mean if those suffice, but
Yeah.
yeah, it always happens because he was like, oh, you got a new boyfriend now. So Jamie's like that kind of hard like kid that's always there. But I mean, as you'll see, like as the season progresses, like it's like whoa, like some things happen, especially in the LGBT community, and that's where Ian and Trevor can come into play, where he can really bring. Because Trevor in the show is a tranny, so he can bring that kind of compassion to the other characters and the kids there.
Right. Well, and we were saying last year, I mean, I think we even learned a lot just about the verbiage and type of vernacular that they use when, in the transgender community and that community. And so I think that will definitely be still a main point of that storyline.
Yeah.
But I love how like in this, because Jamie can be that person to also like in their own world they can be sort of, for lack of a better term, dicks to each other and like just say it how it is, of like, hey, just get over it.
Yeah.
Because they don't see him as like a threat to being Ian's boyfriend, or he's kind of like that kid there that's kind of like pointing it how it is, and has all the other kids kind of on his back. You know what I mean? Like he was rallying up, like, come on, let's go, and kind of with the crew and everything like that.
Yeah. Do we think those two get back together, Ian and Trevor? Or do we want them to, or do we not care?
There's still going to be something. Like, maybe they're not going to get back together. Definitely not right away. But there's sparks. There's something there. There's a little history. So,
Well, and Ian's trying very hard. He even says, "I'm coming back tomorrow."
right.
Like,
I
I'll
was
be
gonna
here
buy him a
tomorrow.
car.
That was fun.
I think
Maybe
my
you should buy him a
Use
car.
a used car.
Great. That was a great
Yeah,
suggestion.
something small, exactly.
Yeah.
Little gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what other? I know you said that you worked on a project in between shooting this first episode,
Yeah.
and then what was that?
That one I'm really excited about. It was a film. It was a feature film, and hopefully, we'll be seeing it in theaters in 2018.
Awesome.
But yeah, it was awesome. It was.
What's the
Can I
name
give
of
you
that?
a little
Is there
brief of it?
Yeah, please.
It's called Saving Flora. And if you've seen Water for Elephants with Reese and Robert, it's with that same elephant. So it's,
Aw.
yeah, so Flora's the elephant, and it's basically like this girl goes on a journey. She grows up in the circus, and then she goes. The circus wants to put the elephant to sleep because she's old and she has arthritis, and the girl wants to save her and bring her to basically a safe haven that you must. And she goes on this journey, and she meets a boy, and that boy happens to be me, and so we kind of go
Nice.
on this journey together, and it's really cool.
Awesome.
And you'll have some familiar faces like David Arquette and Tom Arnold in it, and it was really fun.
Very cool. Good for you. I saw on your Instagram with Flora.
Yeah.
Or whatever the
think
elephant's
her
name
name's
is in real
Ty.
life. Ty? Oh, cute. Yeah. I mean, she was big.
Huge, and we were jumping on her basically with no. We had like this string for the circus kind of thing, but it was like, are you guys comfortable? We had the stunt coordinator, everyone helping us out, and she has like this way of like in the circus, like she'll put her nose down, her trunk down, and you kind of just sit on her trunk, and she'll come up and
bring it up.
swing,
Oh, wow.
yeah, swing you up on her, and it's kind of like that first time I tried it, I was like, whoa, and then throughout the movie, that's what we were doing. Like I'm just kind of sliding off of an elephant. I was like, this is kind of casual now.
Every day.
Yeah,
it's,
exactly.
it's Wednesday.
But they're super smart, and I think that's kind of what surprised me so much. Like the trainers can talk to her like this, like, hey, Ty, move up.
Right.
Ty, step over, and she'll just do it.
Yeah, that's
cool.
crazy. Really cool. I love elephants.
Right.
They're awesome. Do we have any final notes and or predictions for next week?
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Oh, that was cool.
Yeah.
I'm just overall excited. I think what we got in the little teaser, I think that's going to happen over the course of the next few episodes. I think because it seems a little bit light, I mean, granted, Fiona's dealing with some people not wanting to pay rent and things of that nature, but I don't think there's going to be a lot heavier and deeper stuff, and we're not going to see that till later on down the line. And
We know how this works. It's like
Yeah.
episode 7, shit hits the fan, and
Yep.
then it's all downhill from there.
Yeah, they give us the comedy to draw us in,
Right.
and then when we're in, they give us the tears.
Yeah, and then we cry. What do you think?
Definitely agree with all of that. I think we're gonna see Fiona and that neighbor get closer, but then she's gonna hit the fan with that because of the girlfriend. Also, Fiona, I think, is just gonna dab into the whole girl thing, but not really gonna feel it. So then she's gonna dab back into the guy thing, but then not feel that. I think she's just gonna have herself a good old time.
And Martin, you probably can't have any predictions.
Oh, well, I can assume what I would have liked to see.
Sure.
Cool.
It was a lot lighter. I could totally agree with that. Like, kind of than what I expected the first episode to come out to. But that positive basically turn for everybody. All the characters can kind of go a little positive, and then, I mean, something's going to happen because it's Shameless.
Right.
But to see where the characters go, and they're kind of taking a positive step towards their lives. You have Karl, you have Fiona, and Lip, everyone trying to better.
Yeah, better themselves.
Exactly.
For sure.
Frank.
And Frank, but we're not sold on that one yet.
Saint Francis.
Yes, I love it. Tell everybody
Love it.
again where they can find you on social media so they can follow your journey now this season.
Heck yeah. So Instagram will be I am Martin Martinez, and Twitter is Leo Squad, and Squad is spelled SQAUD.
Juliet.
You can find me on Instagram at Bonjour Juliet.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. And that's bonjour, which is hello in French.
Love
Yep.
it.
And then my name, just like Romeo and
And how do you say
Juliet.
goodbye in French?
Au revoir.
Love it. Phil?
You can follow me at Phil Svitek, and we should also mention JJ Jurgens will be back. She's still part of the
Yeah.
panel, if you're wondering.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. I love JJ. We all know this. Okay, they can find you at
Phil
Phil
Svitek.
Svitek. And you guys can find me at Hayley Clover on Instagram and Twitter. And make sure that you're commenting below on YouTube so that we can start this conversation again this season. And we will see you next week.
Olivier? Is that?
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Au revoir.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.